Orange, and so on and so forth. But we've just recently gotten Harrison Galveston because Houston Public Library decided they no longer had the room to archive our materials. And so a lot of the court records went to Austin, but the government records like probate and deed, that came here. We deal with a variety of researchers, people that are researching their family history. If your dad died in Liberty or your grandfather died in Liberty, you might want to look at the probate records to see what assets he had. And a lot of people want to go a lot farther back than parent. They want to go, you know, like great, 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 great grandfather. And you find so much information looking at probate records, at tax records. In the 1800s, you paid taxes on your farm and on your mule and on your dog and your pocket watch. So the assets of your ancestors, marriage records, I've had people find that there was another grandma in there they had no knowledge of, you know, and so that really kind of messes up their idea about the family. And it's not always a pleasant surprise.
Right.
So we service a lot of a variety of interests. Oil and gas researchers. Liberty County is really hot right now, so we have a lot of the oil and gas researchers coming out here to look at original records because we have the deed records and the abstracts of where the assessors are assessing how much property a person has and what taxes they anticipate getting for revenue. And the assessor abstracts go back to 1898, but the tax records go back to 1846.
There's two more of ours, sorry.
Welcome.
Sign in.
So college students, college professors, people writing theses. I'm working right now with 3 different researchers, 2 in country, 1 in the UK, who are working on Martin Dice during the 1940s. He was the chairman of the Un-American Committee. We have his papers here. And a lot of people, there was the Red Scare. People were afraid of communism, and World War II was looming on the horizon. So they had this Un-American Committee. If you got mad at your neighbor, you just had a big falling out, you could call the Dice Committee and say that you thought that they were a communist and you were suspect of their activities, and the Dice Committee would call that person, and there would be a hearing, you know, and they would question that person. The bad thing is you would ruin that person's reputation. People that had different ideas, you know, had their reputations ruined. In the 1930s and 1940s, a grocery chain, that was a new idea. A grocery chain, you know, chain of grocery stores. We had one gentleman who lost everything he had because he was called before the Dice Committee because he owned a grocery chain. That was thought to be communistic in those days because it was a new idea.
You're calling it the Dice Committee?
The Martin Dice.
Dice, okay.
So it was the Un-American Committee, or HUAC,
Right.
you know. And we have the papers, and we even have, not the entire collection, but Congress printed the books of the hearings, the testimony. That is still being researched today. PBS has done several documentaries on it, and we have contributed to their documentaries. So along with high school students, elementary students, PBS researchers, we work with a variety of people, you know, not just researching family history, but we also preserve those county government records because it's preserving the history of the various counties, how they were settled, what families lived there, what revenue, what industry, so even the ethnicity, all of that is preserved in those county government records. Now we're going to walk back and see where these records are kept. In our reading room, we have various counties and some information from other states. On this side, we have the Republic of Texas, State of Texas, and also...
We can take photos, but there's one map that we're not allowed to take a photo of, and I'm hoping she points it out to us. Y'all made it, thank goodness.
We were out there since like 10 trying to find you, but
I know I was late, sorry.
I could have helped you. Well, this was a...
It would have been great. We never came here. We went everywhere else. We went to Washington, the Brazos.
ITC.
Well, we are not, we are under-publicized. So many people do not know that we're here.
Yeah. please point out that map that we're not supposed to take pictures
Okay,
of.
it's in the
Okay.
museum.
Okay.
Our boxes are acid-free and our folders are acid-free because paper tended to be cheap and it would break down. And so we preserve them in those folders and boxes to help them last for a longer period of time. We have the largest collection of newspapers in Southeast Texas. And you can see these red leather books on the shelves. And those are our county government records. And look up there and you can see those criminal records. Nobody wants to talk about this, but everybody in their family, we've had somebody do something wrong, and you know, that's kind of just buried. In Orange County, I can't remember if it's on 5th Street or 6th Street, there were 2 murders during 2 different periods of time, and one of them was in front of a deputy. You'd think if you were going to kill somebody, you'd make sure law enforcement wasn't anywhere around.
Right.
But this woman drove down here from Missouri to talk to me about this one Saturday morning.
Oh,
And
wow.
I told her, I said, well, did you call somebody and say that you were coming? Because I was off on Friday, and she just showed up at 9 o'clock, you know, Saturday morning. And she said, no. She said, we knew you had these records, and we just wanted to come and see what you had. She said, you know, my grandma never talked about this, but come to find out, Grandpa had killed Grandma's sister, and I don't know why, but she had the newspaper articles. So, you know, I made a copy and put it in my collection because she had the information. But see, these things happen and nobody wants to talk about it. Right here we have the Daughters of the American Colonists. We have the Daughters of the Republic of Texas, some of their information. The Sons of the Confederate Veterans, we're real popular with them. They hold meetings out here. That plantation house that's out there, those 2 sections right there, that's all records and information about that plantation house, and that's not all of it. There are other collections that various family members have donated, and those are scattered throughout our archives, some upstairs. So you can see we have a lot of different information. The Daniels were book dealers and book collectors. We've got cookbooks. We've got, yes, we've got cookbooks. We have one book that has a recipe for utilitarian things that you would need, like if you were going to whitewash your fence, what you would mix whitewash with so you could get your broom out there and whitewash your fence.
You could build a house that would be authentic, real whitewash from then. And you could cook the real food they had and everything.
Well, I don't know about building a house, but I do have the plans for the log cabins and information about how they were constructed, so I can go there.
There you go.
So it's just fascinating, the information that we have, and people think that history is just dead and dried up, but it's what you did and what you did. You know, think about it, 75 years from now, 100 years from now, somebody's going to be looking you up, if they're not already.
I hope it's for something.
we hope it's for something good. We hope it's for something good.
Well, do you want to tell us the story of the Daniels?
It depends on what you want to know, and we should probably wait till we get to the house. Okay? So,
You'll love the house. You'll
hold that
Gotcha.
thought. Now, who are you ladies?
We're cousins.
We're all cousins
First
having a
cousins.
little
First
reunion.
cousins. We're having
Cousins slumber party at my house.
He does
and I
everything
always
he
had
can to
moved to
avoid being.
Okay,
in
now,
photos.
well, what family? Cook family? For the Cook Cemetery?
No.
The
we're
Not
Cook
related to
Cemetery?
Cook
I don't
Cemetery.
know. We don't know. Maybe
Well, you can come and research. C-O-O-K-E.
All these ladies in the
All of these ladies are
No, I don't know.
cousins.
But Bonnie's new to the area. I have just moved to Liberty
See,
recently.
you can all assign her to come here and
Oh,
research.
you got a J.O.B. And we're having, and I'm having a cousin slumber party, which they're saying 2 nights.
Well,
We're having so much fun.
this is a paranormal group, and they are going to be checking out the Ott Hotel,
Yeah.
Oh,
Photograph
the historic Ott Hotel.
Texas Paranormal.
paranormal.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, we investigate things you don't see. The time when you die, you pass on, you're not there, but you think you're still around. Basically,
Yeah.
you can photograph that and see orbs or auras or mist at certain times of the evening. And she was telling us prior that, you know, there are haunted areas that we're going to see. There's voices. Nobody's there.
See,
Oh, I need to come out to my house.
Well, that might be some more Cook family relatives.
And see, she's just moved into the area, so they found
I
her.
didn't have any business cards with you. Texas Paranormal, I
great.
forgot mine.
Now, we're gonna head out, and the first house we're going to see is the plantation house. So that's gonna be the house on the far end, so that's where we're
And
going.
I can
I
drive.
like this building.
No,
This
you
looks
can't drive there.
better than
Well,
the
she got her
regular
scooter.
house we're going
Yes.
in.
See the plantation house?
Yes,
That's the one
She
I'm...
can use the scooter, we have a nice wide sidewalk,
Okay.
okay?
Coming out, coming out.
Well,
So, you look great. You don't have to worry about being in photos. You could be a supermodel.
as far as the house is concerned.
They were, when I was there, they were just putting them out there. They hadn't even stabilized.
Cut. So, you know.
Oh my God.
What? What'd you get?
The battery. Watch it.
Oh, yeah.
Look at cherries.
Yeah. You know, those are those Duracells in there. I've got more in my pocket. Ah!
House on the far end.
I've got more in my pocket.
Okay, I'm gonna turn them off for right now.
Yeah.
Besides Houston, Texas.
You can find most of mine in Fredericksburg and,
Out there west.
New Braunfels.
Cattle ranch.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
Country.
if you do a Google search on Elmo Johnson, you'll find what's called Johnson's Ranch out in Big Bend.
Oh, I know. I love Big Bend. We used to go to Big Bend growing up.
And I've never been there. I need to go there and check it out.
Yeah, let's take out looks.
Oh, really?
Are we driving over there? We're driving over there, huh? Okay, we're gonna walk. Wasn't sure if we were driving or walking. This place turned out to be a real bonus, huh? The illustrious Texas Paranormal combined up with the Cook cousins. The bonus prize. Hey y'all, I'm working on the website. I got us a space at GoDaddy.com. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to get the name Texas Paranormal to link with the website. But hopefully in the next couple of days I'll figure it out. It's gonna be cool too. I'm also working on getting satellite internet so I can bring my dish with me on these trips.
That would be fun.
We can webcast from our locations, do chat rooms, webcams. Hell yeah, I got big plans. I mean, these meetups, you know, they're pretty cool and everything, but they could be a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
What did she say about this house? I gotta get me a camera.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm so behind on my ghost hunting equipment.
This is the Gillard Duncan House. Zoom in on this a little.
Is this place haunted?
She says it is.
Really?
This one and that big plantation house. There may be a little bit in there.
So what was the story about the map you can't take pictures of?
There's a map in their archives that was donated, and per the wish of the donor, no photos of that one map. But everything else we can take pictures of. I don't know. A lot of people are creepy
I
about
can tell you one
photos.
thing about the porch. This house was on the road from Liberty to Anahuac, and it was built in 1848. The family came to Liberty in 1845 because Dr. Gillard needed more land for cattle and crops, and it was cheaper for him to come to Liberty and to buy land here than to try to expand in Louisiana. During that time period, if you were traveling, it would be customary for you to stop at the closest house and ask for lodging. And people would let you spend the night. Nowadays, they'd get a gun or call the sheriff's department or the police department. The house has a traveler's room. If you'll walk over here, you can see. Now, we don't go in this room. It only opens onto the porch. There's a day bed that dates back to the 1890s, and it opens into a double bed. There's a chest for your possessions. And people would stay in this room. The family,
Go in the other part of the house.
that's right, and the family could feel safe in the house because the travelers could not access the rest of the building.
Cool.
Very hospitable people.
Hey. Sorry we were late. I like the way everybody's moving. That's a nice flow of traffic. Okay, rear cameras stay rear, front cameras stay front.
Not to touch any of the antiques, 90% of the furnishings actually belong to them. And they've donated them to us.
Okay.
Or from our biggest.
That's true.
Yes. The rug you're standing on was made by
Hey.
a family.
Okay,
Actually, it's
here comes the rear camera, so I need to move
And
forward.
what's the purpose of us having this if we can't show it off?
Really?
Besides, our funding is dependent on your visiting or researching. Otherwise, they could shut us down, and we need our jobs.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. You could lock him out.
This is a photograph of Dr. Gillard. Little sewing basket, settee in the corner. This is the parlor. The kitchen is behind you. You're welcome to browse through and walk through. I want you to notice the various furnishings. William Duncan married Dr. Gillard's oldest daughter. This is his little more campaign chair. We think these are directional chairs, but you know, you can just, it's a cat chair. You can hold it up and take it with you. We have a commode, ladies and gentlemen. And we all know what this is for. Plantation desk. Convertible piece of furniture. Mattress can be released and it'll rock. And then the girls' bedroom with the perfume. You're welcome to walk. Perfume and hairpins.
I got my periscope up. Go ahead.
We can't afford it. Yes. They didn't buy it.
It's beautiful. I love the smell of the antique wood.
Now see, this is the real floor. See how they daubed the cracks with mud? Now
Right.
Dr. Gillard, he actually drew up the plans for this house, patterning it after his Louisiana home. But he built it on a smaller scale. People think of plantation homes as large two-story structures, big columns. Texans built their homes on a more practical and economical scale. You might see about 50 of those homes with the large pillars, but that's about it. There's not very much wasted space in this house, very practically built. And you can see it's really endured time well from 1848.
It really has.
The wallpaper on the walls is reproduction. We have samples of the original wallpaper, but it costs so much to have it made, we just can't afford it. And we'd rather spend the money trying to maintain the residence rather than
Right.
try to reproduce the wallpaper. So we use a wallpaper that's similar to the pattern that would have been used during that time period. And there's certain places we have to go to buy wallpaper. You can't just go to Walmart, okay?
Right.
We have to order it from certain houses. Even if we're going to put curtains in, we have to order it from certain places. And it costs more than Walmart, I guarantee you. I was sewing some that tore, and one of the ladies was saying, just go to Walmart. I said,
Oh,
that's not going to happen.
There was no Walmart back then.
No.
So this is a field chair actually used in the
During the
Civil
Civil
War.
Yes.
Wow.
They used to bring their picnics and watch the battles. At least they did on the East Coast.
That sounds
And
creepy.
they would let them go home to plant the crops and let them go home to harvest the crops. And they would
Wow.
publish in the newspapers when they had to come back.
Okay, okay. Wow.
And I think that is so neat.
Napoleonic.
So neat.
Get the door open.
I just love the smell in here. Isn't it great? I could just live here. Oh, man.
I saw this in a movie and they close it. So they're in the-
A lot of people can't believe that it's original to the house, but it really is. This was not installed later.
How old are these? At least 100 years or more.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
One more time, I'm sure you've already said this, but what year was this house?
1848.
1848.
Now, the kitchen was a detached building because kitchens produced a lot of heat and they tended to burn down. Now, step aside, I'm going to show you something. This was a Catholic family, and Dr. Gillard was a medical doctor. Now, they made wine and cordials, and you know alcohol was used as an anesthetic and perhaps to sterilize equipment. But not everybody, you know, imbibed alcohol. So what they would do is they had a little discreet place to store their beverages.
Oh,
And it's a little room underneath the staircase.
secret room.
Wow.
Nice.
Keep a big ball jar in there, that huge one. Reserves. And there's something that looks like a Coca-Cola or a Pepsi bottle. It's probably a tonic, right, for medicine? That little tiny one next to the big ball jar, tall one?
I would think so, a tiny bottle.
Yeah.
Yes. And we know what kind of jug this one is.
Ah,
Yeah,
moonshine.
that was the real stuff, yeah.
100 proof. I felt the spirits. Moved me. I opened them up.
We're not chasing those kinds of stories.
Now,
Okay.
one unique thing about this house, in addition to that traveler's room, is the schoolroom. Upstairs, I want you to see the schoolroom if you can do stairs. Dr. Gillard really believed in education. He educated his slaves, his children, children from neighboring farms and plantations, and anyone who would come. So that was a little bit different from that for that particular time period. And it's one of the early documented schools in Liberty County.
Oh,
So feel free.
oh, this way? Okay.
Yes. And
Oh,
please don't touch my books.
I'm not touching anything.
It's the original books that the kids used, and they're fragile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the action we did.
It is a schoolroom.
Yes, it really is.
Wow.
See, the trunks, you can imagine traveling. Can you imagine getting on a train with that?
Yeah.
And I had this one lady just freak out in the library. Okay, if you were going from Dayton to Ames, okay? Ames is not a major stop. They would slow down for you to get off. They wouldn't stop. People, there were so many railroad accidents. People don't think about this, but you read those old newspapers. At the in-between stops, they would not stop. They would just slow down for you to jump off. Plus, there were so many people who were burned by cinders and embers flying off the stack on the train. And reading those old court cases, I mean, it's laughable now because, I mean, people are suing McDonald's over a cup of coffee. But you think about your hair burning up from cinders and embers from a stack on a locomotive, you know, that's, it gives you a whole new perspective. This little room is where the governors of the tutors slept. There was school probably only about 3 months out of the year. But notice the little window. That is innovative architecture because it lights the staircase, making use of the natural light from the
Right.
window. And probably the only thing the person did was sleep there. They would have been an honored guest, taking their meals with the family. You know, papers. They would sit in the parlor and grade their papers,
Right.
write letters.
What a great exposure with the windows. It's so bright.
Don't kick the chairs.
Now that room, to me that room is terrible because that was just rafters. And you could see the wood, they would have used the scrap wood, okay, for the decking. And you could see the wood. And our boss is modernizing, and he sheetrocked that room this past summer and
Okay.
painted it. That has always been planned for future exhibits, but you could see the old wood, and that was just so neat to see the old wood and how they would cut around a knot, and you can't see that anymore. But that will be future exhibit area. All they did was just store trunks up there. We floored it and sheetrocked it. So we have so much from this family that we could exhibit as far as tools and clothing is concerned. So that is planned for later. But
Excellent.
archives people move slowly. We have 5 full-time employees and everybody multitask. So
Good deal.
What is the Creole influence? You mentioned on the thing up there, there's a Creole influence on architecture.
because so many people came to this area from Louisiana. You know, this was the Gillard family. Dr. Gillard's wife was a Dupont. They were related to the LaCours. And all of those family names are Liberty County names and surrounding counties. And
Big
so,
French and.
oh, yes, absolutely. In Ames, we have the Cormiers. We have the Malone songs. All of those people came from Louisiana. There were so many people. And some of them stopped in Orange. Some of them came a little further on, Jasper, Jefferson. Some came to Liberty. You know, some went to Newton, some went to Harris, some went to Chambers. They just kind of progressed, you know, coming into Texas. The land was cheap. This was the new frontier. You know,
Oh, yeah, they
Louisiana was settled in the early
Didn't they beg him to come
1600s.
over here?
Louisiana
Come on,
purchased.
they said.
Well,
Texas was
yes, they were recruiting.
Confederate Civil War, War of Independence in Mexico.
So we'll go downstairs and we'll go to the church.
Excellent.
Do any of these rooms give you that sort of creepy feeling like you're being watched?
This house is cool. One of the curtains keeps pulling back in the house on the end. You know, like somebody's peeping out. And I don't care how many times you straighten that curtain, it will not, you know. I've talked to the curtain a few times, tell it to straighten out, and it'll straighten out for a little while, but then it'll start curling back again.
You got the grandfather I had in Conroe that used to close the doors at night in the old office.
Oh, I'm so
Afraid to go.
Right.
Now, when we get to the Price Daniel house,
Okay.
y'all be cool,
Yeah,
and
we'll-
wait till everybody leaves.
Okay.
Then,
Okay.
okay?
I've already told everybody, hang tight. Don't
Yeah.
run off as soon as this is over.
Because I don't want,
Right.
my boss would have a fit if I was talking about it.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank
That
you.
chest, there's something about that chest.
I know. Isn't this
There's
great?
something about that chest. Just like happy memories, welcoming toys.
Well, you know, the
something.
kids used to go to boarding school and they came
That's
home
it.
on the
That's what I'm
weekends.
getting. I like this kid energy, like, oh,
Yeah,
boy, what's
they
going
went to
around?
Catholic boarding school and they came home on the weekends and holidays.
That's what it feels like when I see it. I remember
This
my
family,
feelings having G.I. Joe toys.
these family, I mean, we still interact with the descendants. Yeah, and they love this house and they contact us, they're donors, you know, they want to know we're using the house and that people are enjoying it.
Here's another one.
Past life experience. That's why you're an archivist. You're just doing this all over again.
Well, you know what, I hate it. I like some of the people I worked with and I like my work, but the majority of the people were jerks. I used to work for the Baytown Police Department.
Ooh, yuck.
And you know how much they've been in the news?
We don't even want to think about them.
So you can understand, this job is just like manna from heaven.
Uh-huh.
Get us paid to have fun.
Yes, yes. Let me show you something else though. Actually, I'm not an archivist. Actually, what I do is I'm a processor. I go through the records and I work primarily with the microfilm, and I was taught how to interpret the record series. Now, in the 1800s, early 1900s, the guys' collars and cuffs button on. Extra ones were kept laundered and starched and ironed in a bureau drawer. This is a leather collar box.
Oh,
These are the collars and the cuffs would go here.
okay.
You could wear your shirt more than one time. Collars and cuffs caught all the dirt and had to be changed regularly.
Right.
And I never knew this happened, okay? But one of my visitors says, what about this? So I opened this and I
It's
said,
a-
y'all are gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna break the thing and get fired.
Oh, no.
But
We won't tell.
this,
Oh my God.
this is where the cufflinks go.
Oh, sweet.
Side.
Yeah. Had no idea. My visitors make me do things that I don't want to do.
Grab your cuffs, grab your collar, put it all on, you got it all, you're ready to go.
Yes.
Excellent.
He's got a shaving razor there.
Yes. Now, can you imagine using this every morning?
I've been looking for one of those.
Straight razor.
I wear out the big ones too quick.
The wives used to shave their husbands, so you can imagine if you really ticked her off the night before, the next
Ooh.
morning she's shaving you.
I was going to holler at Jamie, but I guess I won't now.
You don't want to give her any ideas?
I
No.
said yes to her back then too.
Yeah.
Did they have an old-timey doghouse when he got in trouble?
Oh,
I'm
boy.
sure they did. They just don't talk about it.
Mhm.
See, I can give you a new spin on history, one you never imagined.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Isn't this great?
This is the house at the original site in 1979, 1980, before it was moved.
Okay, so it was moved.
It was moved.
Okay.
All of these buildings were moved here, except the Gina Price Daniel house. It was built on site.
Okay. Where is Jamie at anyway? Jamie!
Who's Jamie?
Short one, long black hair.
Jamie, you're being called.
You need to take a picture of this picture. Take a picture of the picture of the house before it was moved.
It's around this side over here.
This picture right here. Get a picture of that.
I think I already did.
You did? Okay.
That's the way the paper was before.
Yes, that's the original paper, and this is Dr. Gillard. Dr. Gillard, the gentleman who built the house, who came from Louisiana.
Okay. Here's Dr. Gillard.
I think y'all got a little bit more than you bargained for. You thought you were just gonna tour, huh?
Bonus, yeah, thank you. We're pulling out.
We're going to the church next.
That's kind of a fainting couch, isn't it? Isn't that what they call them, fainting
Yes.
couches?
Yes, because they would wear their girdles, their corsets laced so tightly they could hardly breathe.
Right, and they had to lay back rather than sit straight.
Yes.
I think
yes.
they might have been
Right.
faking it sometimes for.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yes, they were getting into the vapor.
Let's put one on you.
Sometimes they had to have a little helping about, you know, mother's love.
Corsets, not girdles.
Right. Yeah,
Corsets. Because they would lace them.
for that last remark, Mike's going to have to put on a corset.
And they were always small because the lady's waist used to be just real little bitty, remember? One time.
Y'all don't run off after the tour, okay? Stick close. We got a bonus. All right. Who are those? Oh, those are just blocks. I was gonna say, hey, look, tombstones. You see the tombstones under the house?
That's messed up.
I shouldn't be spreading false info like that. That's the old plantation over there. Check that out, man.
I like that.
We might be able to go in. Stay closed.
Yeah, check out my new camera.
You got another one?
Digital. I got it for 160.
160? Not bad.
It was.
That's one of those little ones. Is what? How much time can you get on it?
Well, regular tape, it's.
I'm sure I
It's. I think long play, it's 90 minutes,
Okay.
and then you have digital, which you can put
About
as much
40.
as how many gigs of SD card you can get.
Sweet. Where'd you get it?
It was at Best Buy for 160 plus tax, like 200, but it, well,
Okay.
180 after tax, and it was it's 250 regularly.
Does it have night shot?
No light or anything?
Oh man, you gotta have night shot. I
Well-
mean, that's good for tour. You ought to be using the little one on this, and then save the night shot for later.
Well, I got my other battery plus this. I'm going to put it on my TV when I get home and tape record it on this, and then put it on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna YouTube this stuff? Excellent.
Luke Bash, LUKVASH.
Put links up on our message board. I'm working on a website. I got us a space at GoDaddy. GoDaddy.com.
Dad.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to get the TexasParanormal.com name to link up with the web space.
How do you link pictures?
Oh, when you make a post, you'll see a little button, like a little painting hanging there. Click on that and it'll ask you for the link for the picture.
I
Drop.
didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Yeah, because you did that with the one I made for 2PR.
Right.
And I want to know.
This is the church, St. Stephen's Episcopal. Hey, I'm Episcopalian, amongst other things. Okay, now, I could be wrong, but I think we're missing some pews. But those are Episcopalian pews. You know,
This is the former St. Stephen's Episcopal Church, and it was built in 1898, and it was in use until 1994. It's the oldest church in continuous use in the town of Liberty. What's interesting about the Episcopal faith is, like a lot of religions, they would have a large membership, and then the membership would dwindle down to just a few members where they were just barely getting by. And a lot of churches experienced the rise and fall. Now, one of the gentlemen who lived next door was a B.F. Cameron, and he was a state representative at one time, part owner in a dry goods store, and buyer and seller of real estate. His wife was sick all the time, so they go to Sour Lake over in Hardin County. They had the sulfur springs. Supposedly the sulfur springs were healing. And there he heard an Episcopal priest speak. At that time, the membership had diminished considerably. Liberty. So he started having church services in his house.
Yeah.
This house was on Venice Street in Courthouse Square area downtown.
Go 90
They had services
to
in his
146
house.
North.
They used fellowship halls, other churches, until in 1898 they had enough of the membership to the point that they could build this church.
And when you get through
Now, the
Liberty,
only reason we have the church is because they wanted a larger and more modern
yeah, could
building.
you?
When we got it, it had that 1970s shag green carpet on the floor with like 3 different colors of green and a little gold in there. It was ugly. We still had the little communion rail, you know, here, and they had paneled the walls. And when they started the renovation and they pulled the paneling off and we saw the real wall, we were amazed. We could not understand why they would cover this up. This is called beadboard, and this is not cheap when you get the real stuff. That stuff you buy over at the builder supply stores doesn't even compare to this. You know, this is the real thick, solid stuff. Because back in 1898, they didn't have the sophisticated equipment in the sawmills like they do now, you know, to reproduce this quickly. And a lot of that stuff that they would use is laminated. It's cheap, but it's not inexpensive to purchase. But it's cheap compared to what this stuff is and how solid and sturdy this is. Because think about it, this church has endured since 1898. Now, there was some renovation here. You can see where there's like a cutout. But any renovation that was done was to the back of the church, and so that was not kept. Same thing on the Gillard Duncan House. Any modernization that was done was to the rear of the house. So we want to keep the original building in so much as possible to maintain the authenticity of the historic structure. And that's what our goal is, to maintain an authentic historic structure the way it originally was. And that is what you're seeing here as far as these buildings are restored. We do not preserve any renovations. But there was an area, you know, where the minister could dress, and I'm sure there were restrooms at the back. So those, you know, those were cut off. We just have the original charge. They gave us 4 pews, and the rest of them they sold to church members or auctioned off to the community. In the 1800s, early 1900s, going to church was entertainment. If you had to go kill chickens and butcher hogs and plant vegetables and pick them up, you know, and clean them up to cook, you would want to go to church on Sunday so you could dress up and see somebody else and talk to somebody else other than your children and your husband. So, the singing conventions, churches still have singing conventions where they invite choirs from different churches, you know, to come and perform. And sometimes they do it, you know, for no charge, but sometimes that would be a fundraiser for a church. So churches would do it a lot. If there was a guest preacher from out of town, other churches would come to hear it. Because this was a big thing. It would be in the newspaper. I've seen the advertisements for the singing convention and then how it turned out really good and there was some fine singing. Some fine singing. Yes. The old newspapers, I guess y'all think I have no life, but it's really entertaining. I can tell you more about what went on back then than I can tell you about what's going on now. Well, I have you laughing. I make you want to come up here and read those overnight. In the 1940s, when you couldn't get nylon hose, I imagine those ladies were panicking. You know, because of the war effort, you couldn't get the nylon hose, tires for your cars, those that could afford to have cars. Oh, sorry, I'm treading on somebody's toes. Well, I've seen those. I'm a little ignorant. Just a little bit. One thing that I want you to notice when you walk outside of this building is that front window. In the renovation of this church, there were some right doors that had to be replaced. And the car expensive portion of the renovation of this church, other than installing the air conditioning. Our architect said this is the only place he can come up with putting the air conditioning in because, you know, there's no attic. And the steel struts were installed because it started caving in. And so that was installed in the 1960s to reinforce the building. It did have stained glass windows when we got it. They weren't original, and the church wanted them back. The stained glass was installed in the 1960s. The Episcopal Church donated it to another church that was being built in Austin. So somewhere in the Austin area, there's some nice stained glass windows in a church, and those came from Liberty.
Do you ever have any activities in here? Do you have a wedding or?
That's a no-no, because we have found that the customer service, sometimes people are so hard to please. We started out with the engagement photos on the staircase in the Jeannie Price Daniel House, and you'll see that staircase is beautiful. A lot of brides-to-be would want their photos made there. But it turned into, instead of 30 minutes, 2 and 3 hour sessions, and we just don't have the time for that, because our mission is the history, telling you about it, showing it to you, and letting you see that we're spending your tax money wisely, hopefully.
So this is a state,
This is state of Texas.
pays for you and all
Yes.
the utilities and everything.
Yes, ma'am. Now, we have a friends group, and it's worldwide. It's the Atascocita Historical Society. Not only in the United States, but many members outside the United States, because people have moved outside the country. And they donate money to us. We have fundraisers. The drop-off outside, we're going to sell bricks. And we're going to engrave the donor's name on the bricks and paint that area. And then on either side, there'll be a little concrete bench. So this is still a work in progress. This is our last building that was completed in 1994. The Plantation House was the first, and this one was about somewhere between 1980 and 1984. But see, all these buildings, you know, took fundraising. And on the church, they asked us not to do any renovation or fundraising until after they built their new sanctuary. So this church sat idle for a long time. We couldn't come out and tour it until we gained momentum. They paid for their church, and we gained momentum and were able to do fundraising. And then we did, you know, silent auction, had some good publicity. Donors.
These buildings being brought in, or these are actual buildings from this?
They were brought in. That was out in the Ames area, out on the prairie. It was a real plantation, 1,750-something acres, a real plantation. This was in downtown Liberty, behind Prosperity Bank, in the Courthouse Square area. This was on Fannin Street, still in the courthouse area, downtown Liberty. So they were brought in. There's talk of bringing more buildings in. In Liberty, we had a historic building that was rescued when they were going to demolish it to build our new CVS that was going to be right off Highway 90. And our historical commission in Houston, Daniel, went into action, and they saved the building. And one of our local attorneys let us move the building on his property until they decided what they could do with it. And it's going to have to be restored. There's talk about bringing it out here, and I don't know if we're going to bring it out here or not. It's a very small building. It could fit almost inside of this one because it's a small building.
This was,
This particular location, this was someone's home place actually, or land.
Now all you have to do is make one of 4.
No. And Price Daniel originally owned all of this property and first donated this section from the library back for the library. He built the house in the 1980s, and then in 1998 donated the house and more acreage. So we have over 100 acres here in all of these buildings.
These are for concrete.
Yes, hog pine, you know, little bitty ones that are really hard. Yes, they are. You can never find them. some of it is original. Most of this is original.
What do you call that?
I don't know about this, but I know this is the.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know what that's called. See, I thought maybe that was new because it looks good.
I'm thinking this is
Well, that's what.
landscape.
I just saw a mist.
Where?
Outside the window. It looked like a puff of smoke.
It's not
It went right past the window outside.
With your eyes or with the camera?
yes.
Huh?
With your eyes or with
With my eyes.
But it really is original, and you can see where indentations, but see, you can see where the altar rail came into it. And
It
there's
went right
a little
past the
bit
window
inside where
outside.
the altar rail was.
Weird.
And there was only one small hole in the floor. The floor was in terrific condition. All we had to do was varnish it. Really? Yes, and all we do is
Well, I guess they carpeted it and they,
I guess so. I guess
Keep an eye on those windows.
You would have thrown that at me to sing that green shade. I wanted to. I couldn't believe they put that on the floor. Oh, I bet they did. And it was to modernize the church. You know, I guess they got tired of looking at this and they were trying to make it look new. But for people who like original buildings, we were like, oh my gosh, what do they do? Now the next building we're going to go into, there's a dispute about the building. We thought the LaFours had built it. Descendants of B.F. Cameron are still in the area, and the oldest child swears that Uncle Frank built the house. So as far as I know, Uncle Frank built that house. It was just on property LaFours owned. And I certainly was not going to argue with that lady. The Norman family purchased it in 1910, and they are the family who donated it. We have Mr. Norman's office set up in one room. We have an 1850s Victorian parlor set up in another. And then the two rooms at the back, which were bedrooms, are just, one is a fashion and one is for woman's work is never done. So it's just displays. Oh yeah, you're going to love that. So we'll go to and it's a non-price style home. Long hallway.
Well, I saw a little mist go by that window outside. It looked like somebody was outside smoking. I saw a puff of smoke go by that window outside while she was talking. I thought maybe it was somebody standing out there smoking.
That was donated to stained glass.
Doing great. This is really excellent.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know, since it is your money, we do hope that you appreciate it. You know, and you think that we're doing a good job preserving the history.
Okay.
You betcha you're doing a good job.
And we want to tell the kids about it. Because so many of the kids, you know, they think they hate those history textbooks, and then when they come out here, we try to make it fun for them.
Yeah, I hate
you
history.
know.
Right. No, you know, I hate school book history. I can't stand it. But when I get out in the field, I love it.
Well, especially if people can tell you different things about
Right.
it, and little innovative things about the family members. For instance, William Duncan, whose campaign chair that was, he suffered from constipation all the time.
Oh my goodness.
And that's in his diary.
Oh.
And he could never keep up with his horse. Every morning the man was looking for his horse.
His horse or his horse?
His horse.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if his horse. I don't know if he
I didn't say that.
much than that before. He didn't remember where he left his horse or if the horse untied himself.
Oh, okay.
But every morning that man was hunting that horse.
I didn't say that, did I? Yeah, well, I was outside the church. I was outside.
The barrier of the church was still hitting you. So it's too late, you already said it.
Well, you know.
Oh, that was a little bit
Well,
too
she was talking about constipation.
Constipation is normal.
Couldn't remember where he left his horse.
Don't forget that's a film.
Oh, no. See, she just cut right through the grass.
I would have stepped through the grass.
Well, man, I'm hurting for a smoke. Ooh, I need a smoke.
That's wrong. Oh. I took the side of the other one.
Luke, we're in. I got a bit. Ooh, I'm running low on tape here. I'll just switch tapes right about now. Let me go ahead and do that.